Welcome to Tech Blueprint, a window that lets you know the latest technology news in the world. The combination of iOS system plus a series chips has been very competitive for so many years, and it can even be said that there is no competitor. Android system plus Snapdragon chip is simply difficult to become popular in the high-end field. Therefore, the price of Apple mobile phones has always been the highest in the entire network until the return of Huawei's high-end phones. After the return of the Kirin 9000S chip, Huawei's high-end mobile phone business was reborn. The return of the Mate series models also announced the end of the iPhone's one-man show in the high-end field. Naturally, pricing is no longer arbitrary. Apple has also begun to bow its head and started a cost-effective battle. When the iPhone X was first released, the price of the 64G version was as high as 8,288 yuan. It was sold out in less than 10 minutes after it was launched. The delivery time was as long as 1 month. Consumers had no complaints. The Apple fans who grabbed the phone were even proud of it. However, this may be the last peak of the iPhone. Starting from iPhone X, the upgrades of each subsequent generation of Apple models are extremely limited. In order to sell the models at a higher price, the relevant components of the standard version are castrated, forcing consumers to buy higher versions of mobile phones, which are exactly the same in appearance, design, and even chargers and headphones are no longer given away. At the same time, domestic mobile phones are rising rapidly, and Chinese people have more choices, but Cook is unwilling to put down that arrogance. He says, "I can't do without the Chinese market," but he keeps transferring the supply chain to markets such as India and Vietnam. The iPhone 16 has a strong curry flavor, which makes it difficult for consumers to accept. The release of iPhone 16 did not save the decline. This new model with A18 processor as standard is almost the same as the previous generation in appearance, except that there is an additional side function key and the previous mute key is cancelled. This is the biggest upgrade. The starting price of 5,999 yuan gives people the feeling that they can't love it even if they want to. As expected, the sale of iPhone 16 did not cause a frenzy this time. I believe many people are waiting for the release of Huawei's Mate 70. This also led to a discount of 300 to 600 yuan on third-party platforms less than a week after the sale. Now the prices of the entire series have collapsed, and the prices of some models have dropped by more than 1,000. And this time Cook seems to have really compromised. According to survey data, when conducting research in as many as 39 countries, it was found that China's price for the standard version was the lowest in the world, second only to Thailand and Japan. But for the more high-end versions, the price in the mainland market is relatively high. You must know that Japan does not have good domestic mobile phones. The market share of iPhone is as high as more than 50%. In the past, the price in this market was the lowest. This time, it did not reduce the price in Japan, but instead promoted cost-effectiveness in China. Did Apple bow its head, or did it have other purposes? First, let's look at the sales data. After Huawei phones were sold in large quantities, iPhone sales in the first quarter of 2024 fell by 19%, and in the second quarter it fell out of the top 3. Global revenue increased by 4.9% year-on-year, but revenue in Greater China fell by 6.5%, which is rare in Apple's business history. The pager explosion in Lebanon some time ago directly labeled European and American electronic products as dangerous. Against this background, iPhone 16 was revealed to use a metal shell battery. Cook did not mention such a big upgrade at the press conference, which makes people think a little bit. It has to be said that Apple's sales decline is completely made by itself. It is difficult to guarantee privacy security with American systems and chips. Traveling through the streets and alleys of China with Apple devices will inevitably affect national security. Musk and the South Korean military have begun to ban Apple devices, and even their own people have begun to boycott, which shows that there must be some problems with the iPhone. This time, the Chinese mainland market seems to be treated differently. iPhone 16 has successfully connected to ChatGPT to realize AI functions, but only the overseas market version supports it. This undoubtedly challenges our bottom line again. The so-called cost performance is just the castration of functions. Are you willing to buy such a mobile phone? What do you think about this? In short, the iPhone 16 has the lowest price in the world in China, but there are problems such as castration of functions, which has caused dissatisfaction among consumers. Apple's sales decline may be related to privacy security, metal shell battery, and other issues. The Chinese mainland market is treated differently.